Hello and welcome back to the Little Scale Cars YouTube channel. Today in the review box we have the Hot Wheels Mercedes 280 SEL 4.5, part of the AutoStrasse Car Culture Collection from 2022. So let's go ahead and take a closer look and see if this version is worth adding to your collection, as it is not a new casting, only the first time I will be reviewing the casting. We will go ahead and get started with our casting. So taking just a quick look, from a proportion standpoint, we do look pretty good, pretty accurate to the real life car, except for the fact that we're obviously been lowered. That's a thing that Hot Wheels likes to do. It doesn't really bother me too much, but it is kind of a knock against the realisticness or the accuracy of the car. We'll go ahead and put the real life car up in the top right corner as a comparison shot there. So, moving into our casting, our front bumper is all plastic, and this whole piece extends into the headlights and the grille as well. So our base is metal and the main body is metal, but our front bumper here is plastic, as well as our rear bumper that's also plastic. I'd not necessarily say that's a bad thing in some spots, because that chrome look does look pretty cool. I don't necessarily love it for the grille section here, though. The casting does not have any mirrors in it, but that is okay, seeing as these mirrors are so small in real life. We do have our little door handles casted in there, and our door lines and everything like that. Our hood has also got all the lines that you would want. But other than that, the casting itself is pretty plain, because the car itself doesn't have any kind of crazy lines or anything like that. For our paint and deco department, we have a pretty simple design here. We've got like this really cool metal flake green, which looks really nice. And while I have not been able to find a picture of this car in real life with this exact color, there have been multiple different versions of green with this car, even some with kind of these greenish looking rims. So overall, it is a realistic looking color, and it does look good on this car overall. So I think it was a good choice. Definitely a little bit more unique to some of the other ones that we've gotten. Probably the most colorful version of this casting thus far. For our details, we do have quite a bit. So as mentioned, this is all plastic in the grille. It is textured, but it is perhaps not the best, most perfect looking. We do have headlights, though. They are quite tough to see, but there is little tampos where the headlights should be. We also have these reflectors there. Moving down to the side, we do have our door handles as far as being casted, and they also do get a little tampo work. We've got reflectors up front and in the back. We do have this nice silver trim piece that goes all the way down to the car. All the windows are also trimmed out as well. They look really good. We do have some windshield wipers casted in there. It looks fantastic. The trim does kind of fade out a little bit right in this section here. That's a little bit of a bummer, but not the end of the world. And that is the case for all the windows. They are all trimmed up. On our tail section here, we do have our 280 SEL, our 4.5, our Mercedes-Benz logo there. We've got our taillights, we've got the kind of trunk section, got a trim piece there, as well as a little license plate in addition to that. Our base has some nice detailing to it. We do have an exhaust pipe here that looks good, as well as a decent amount of casted in details on the base. This is a Hot Wheels premium model, so it should be no surprise that it rolls, and even being lowered, it still rolls very nicely. Pros and cons time. So our biggest pro is the kind of realistic look that I would give this car. The paint job and the kind of wheel selection, I think, look really good. That was a good combination to go with. The other big pro I'm going to give this one is the amount of details. So like we said, we got a lot on the back there. We did get a decent amount up front, although I would have liked to see a little bit more in the grille section perhaps. But the trimming down the sides, I even forgot to mention there's another one down here. And then around the windows, all of that kind of combined looks fantastic and really kind of makes the car pop just a little bit more. But for our cons, there's 1.5, I'll say. The first one, as I've mentioned a few times, I'm not a huge fan of the entire grille section here being plastic, because it just, while the detailing on it is nice, I think it would have been cool if we could have had it be metal. Then we could have gotten a little bit more variety in the color up here. But it is what it is. It's not the worst thing ever. The other con that I'll say is only a half con, because it's really if it bothers you or not. The fact that it's lowered makes it a little bit less realistic. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother you, because if you want your car to be as close to real life as possible, it likely wasn't lowered. So we'll put that as a half con. For some size comparisons with some other Mercedes you might have in your collection, here we have it with the Matchbox Mercedes 220 SE and the Hot Wheels Premium Mercedes C63 AMG Black Series. And here we have it with some other classic cars you might have, with the Hot Wheels 1955 Chevy Bel Air and the Hot Wheels Mercedes 300 SL. And now it is time for my final thoughts. So overall, I'm going to go ahead and give this one an 8 out of 10. For me, the hype level wasn't too high. This is not a new release, not a new casting or anything like that. It is probably the best color, most vibrant color that this car has seen so far. The lower proportions, it might not be for everyone. The tempo work is great. There is a fairly hefty amount of detailing involved. With this not being the first release of the casting, it's really like, do you really want this one? It's going to depend on how much you like the car itself. For me, this is my third example of this casting, I believe, and will probably be the last one I pick up, because it's not something I'm super hyped for. I almost passed on this one, to be honest with you. I do feel like it might not be the best fit for the whole AutoStrasse theme. There's definitely some cars that I can think of from Mercedes that probably would have fit in there a little better, but it is okay. It's not the worst. So overall, would I recommend it? I would say perhaps. I think it's a good pickup. I don't think that you'll be disappointed or anything, but it's really going to depend on how much you like this car to begin with. And that's all I have for this review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you hit like, subscribe if you are new, and leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on this particular model, and I will see you in the next video.